What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the data points, what's moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is up slightly, 0.39%, 512 the low, 526 the high. So it did have some pretty good momentum. First thing, a lot of that, in my opinion, was just linked to algorithmic trading, feeding off of Chinese data. So we did have some good data that did come out Friday morning. My apologies, I think in previous videos I actually said that this was going to come out Friday evening, but we got new loans, which was kind of in line with the forecast. Money supply a little bit higher, so 8% versus 7.5, and then outstanding loan growth 6.4 versus the forecast of 6.3. So all in all, somewhat neutral slash a little bit more optimistic. So in general, that's a good thing. So the market kind of is moving higher because of that. Nothing really concrete from NIO today, no SEC filings or anything. The only thing that really came out related to just generally Chinese EVs was this. So it looks like some more smear campaigns are being exposed, and this isn't the first time that this has happened. So it's kind of crazy. I think honestly, given the fact that there's so much back and forth, and even from what I brought up yesterday, how American auto potentially is just scared of China, I think they honestly might be the culprit. I don't know exactly who would be orchestrating all that, but still, like, it's crazy the amount of smear campaigns. NIO wasn't listed among these ones, but still in many other ones, they definitely have been. One thing that I actually do find rather comical. So for those of you that say like NIO isn't suppressed and whatever else, I think basically what happened with Rivian over the last couple of trading days kind of says otherwise. So in case you haven't really been paying attention to kind of Rivian's news, they did mention that they're going to be pivoting away from NVIDIA's chips and doing things in-house. So they're really stepping up their autonomous game. And this is exactly what I brought up in my video yesterday on how NIO should be launching that pretty much over the next couple of weeks. So their level of autonomous driving is going to be really, and plus I think it's beginning of Q1 2026. That's where, to the mass market, that's where it's going to be kind of distributed. But Rivian right now is up 14.85% because of analysts very much looking favorably based on what Rivian kind of put out for higher levels of autonomous driving. So level 4, NIO puts that out. I think their big announcement, they went up like 1-2%. So kind of crazy stuff, just comparing obviously Rivian and NIO. I know you shouldn't always compare kind of American EVs to NIO or just Chinese EVs because just the multiples are completely different. But definitely it goes to show that there is some sketchy stuff that is happening behind the scenes, constantly suppressing NIO. Today, we're not really seeing that much from shorts. Right now, they're increasing 121,000 shares. 11.2% of the free float is being shorted, works to be 155.3 million shares overall are being shorted. The markets have been only open around 2 hours, but still you can kind of see that they haven't really done much whatsoever. Once I go over this in a second, they might kind of wake up a little bit, but right now looking at the options, 721,000 in calls, 378 in puts, and then 44% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you do see a consensus for it to be roughly between that 5 to 515, and then kind of between that 550 and 6. Going into next week, bears are anticipating for it to pretty much be sub $5 for the foreseeable future. So you do have that back and forth. This is the open interest, so especially with today being Friday, this might come into play. So you have 9,000 at that 5. That one's going to be the big deal for today. So as I mentioned, let's say NIO does go down with the broader market, which is currently selling off. You might see shorts wake up a little bit more just to ensure that NIO does close below that $5 mark, or again, closes below a key point. And so over my last couple of videos, I said that NIO really needs to stay above 507. Luckily enough, yesterday it was able to do that. But today, shorts might try to break it, because that's one thing as well that NIO shorts like to do. They don't like to just pound NIO to the ground. They like to strategically break it from the technicals. Then they just sit back, relax, have a beer, whatever else, and they just watch NIO kind of self-implode. And the reason why it self-implodes is because NIO shorts, they try to just do the necessary damage to kind of trick algorithmic trading to start selling NIO off. Happens all the time. And the reason why it's able to happen so frequently is because institutions don't really buy NIO as much as they should be. So right now we're seeing absolutely zero transactions on the secondary market above $100,000. Dark pool, you see a little bit more transactions. Given some of the hold numbers right here, hedge funds again are kind of being fairly active, but dark pool is often enough used by shorts as well as hedge funds. So this is pretty much exactly what happens with NIO, rinse and repeat time and time again. But aside from that though, for today, as I mentioned, moral of the story, just watch for it to stay above 507. Aside from all of that fun stuff on the actual chart, it is looking a little bit better. So right now it is above the 10 and also the 200-day moving average. So as I kind of signaled, I think even like a week and a half ago, Friday, with today being Friday, we're going to see a pinch. Either it's going to really push higher or lower, especially with the 10 and 200-day moving averages converging. So right now it is kind of pushing higher, so that's always a positive thing, but you never know. Again, shorts could easily try to just trick AI and selling NIO off, but it really does need to stay above that 507 alongside that 10-day moving average, which is currently sitting at 504, and then that 200, which is also at 504. So definitely those are some elements to kind of watch for, but there really hasn't been that much in real like articles. Looks like Bazinga's bringing up about the ET5, like a fresh purple makeover. I don't really see that being advantageous in my opinion, but nonetheless, aside from that though, there really hasn't been that much in analyst ratings. So it's just been kind of stuck in limbo, largely just getting influenced by shorts and then its own technicals and just the broader market. So let me know your viewpoint on NIO. Are you buying? Are you selling? What's your kind of general thoughts? And when would you buy NIO next? As I mentioned, I think my next buy range would be around that 450. But I might be starting to get back into selling puts on NIO because I think at this stage in the game, there's definitely a lot more a good risk versus reward. But again, you guys do whatever floats your boat. Let me know your general thoughts on NIO. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.